Let's assume we've got the car running again, which we have. What the other problems with the car are. It's just a complete lack of power, so I don't think the turbo is providing any boost. Back to fault finding, yeah, basically turbo pressure issues. The wastegate, if you like, turbo pressure valve is not producing any boost. And then what happens is, by means of a fairly horrible system, vacuum causes an actuator, the turbo solenoid, to close the wastegate, close the valve. Thus it should build pressure. So there is a vacuum pump driven by the engine, might be the cam, might be some gears, not quite sure. Anyway, there's a vacuum pump on the side of the engine, which then goes to the brake servo, and teeing off of that line between the vacuum pump and the brake servo is another little vacuum pipe which goes down and feeds indirectly the turbo solenoid. I say indirectly because in between the two there is a little vacuum reservoir, like a little black box, where just a hollow black box as far as I can tell, which I guess just builds up a certain amount of vacuum. Yeah, it's a reserve for vacuum. And that little black box looks just like this. Haha. So in fact this is the little black box. So this is your little vacuum reserve tank. Now what happens is, this little pipe here, there's a vacuum pipe that goes from here to the turbo solenoid. So when the vacuum gets to a certain level, it actuates the solenoid, which closes the wastegate or pressure relief, and the turbo builds boost. The pipe that goes into this used to go in here. And it no longer does. It's basically, yeah, the little union pipe has snapped off, and actually that pipe I've found floating around the back of the engine, with what is definitely half of a male bullet connector stuffed in the end of it. Rather than actually fix it, they just decided to block up the pipe with a bullet connector, which is odd. So without this, without vacuum going in here, or rather, well, yeah, vacuum going in, without vacuum being created by a pipe going in here to the vacuum pump, there's obviously no vacuum coming, being drawn out of the turbo solenoid. Therefore the turbo pressure relief, wastegate, whatever you want to call it, is permanently open, and of course there's no boost. If this doesn't fix the problem, then there is another problem, because this definitely would cause the symptoms we got. Definitely. Problem solved. I'm not that optimistic. I'm sure there's some other issues there somewhere, but we'll keep our fingers crossed, and in any case this has to be done. I've been trying to find a second-hand one of these on eBay or anywhere in fact, and no luck. So going to try and find a little bit of plastic pipe of the right diameter and JB weld it in here. You know, we're not talking about a massive vacuum here, so it'll be fine with a bit of JB weld. Just make sure it's secured on there, connect it all back up, and see what happens. So yeah, that's the next job really.